don't know about that one, Dirk. You've had better. You've definitely had better.
Prediction sounds like someone's constipated.
Ooh, Dini on the popper. Oh, he hits the three. Yeah, we don't even talking about that.
Oh, Dini's on a popper this whole time too.
Yeah. Nice shot there from Dini. I think it surprised the Raptors too. Oh, Hom out of the corner knocks it down. That should have been stolen away. You check out the rest of the games. Fourth quarter action, top right. Celtics crossover down by 7. Both those games matter a lot as Cap gets the 2. 55-47. Raptors need a huge comeback here with 2 minutes to go. As the NBL's offense still struggling, though they got a 1-point lead, as that one is blocked away. Tezo with it now, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Sixers defense doing work. So we check back in down low, 8-point game, 1:48 to go. We're still waiting on that Hawks Hornets game to start, by the way, y'all. Or I guess the overtime to start.
Nudini going onto a popper is interesting because me and JT were talking about this a lot. If you're eliminated, you can still take this time of however many games that you have left in the turn to get some live action runs, right? Instead of just a scrimmage mode where, being brutally honest, right, how many players are really giving that 100% every single time that they play? So it's crucial to play out the rest of the games, trying something new, see how it works, and then go ahead and hit in your practice before you end up getting over towards the ticket. Because what we talked about, 3 weeks to prepare for the ticket if you don't make the turn is insane to me.
It is. Agreed on that one. I'm trying to think. Have we had, just a random topic, have we ever had a team win a banner and then not, like, win the tip off and then not make the turn? Has that ever happened before?
You said win the tip off and then not make the turn?
Has a team ever won the tip off and then not made the turn? Or I guess.
I don't think so. Or made it period?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me put my history hat on. Let's see.
Sixers no in season 1 and 2, because in season 2 they made Final Four in Vegas. Obviously the Raptors no, because they dominated the turn season 3. Season 4 would have been the T-Wolves. I don't know how far. I think the T-Wolves made it to the turn in 2021.
Yeah. And then the
last
T-Wolves.
year. Yeah, then last year T-Wolves again. Yeah, okay. So usually if you make the tip off, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, we're going back and looking too, because that same conversation you were just talking about, it's like, because there's a whole thing, if you win the tip off, you don't go forward and win the championship. Same could be said if you win the turn. You don't go forward and win the championship when you end up winning the turn either. The only one that we've had success with is the ticket season 1 with Knicks Gaming. They won one of the banners and then won a championship.
We got an 8-point game here. Looks like WizDG are going to stun Raptors uprising. Toronto really needed the W. Looks like the Wiz are going to snatch one away from their jaws.
See, I told you no comeback. I'm one of them ones.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Cav. Oh, nice board from Dini, and that'll do it. They needed that rebound to maybe start a miracle. But the Raps with the loss, a big one too. They were in pole position for a spot in the turn. They are in a pole position no longer. 57-51. Guys, we are still waiting on Hornets Hawks overtime. They're having some internet issues. It's Crizzy. That won't go. 13-point lead over here. Looks like the Sixers are going to take care of business. And 6:30 knocks down a 3.
What an interesting drop-off for Boston from the tip-off to the turn.
It really was. We thought that they were going to be a team that was going to be kind of scrappy throughout the season, and they just have not been able to put it together here during the turn. Loss here basically knocks them out. And by the way, the Celtics crossover likely losing this game. that overtime game between Hornets Venom GT and Hawks Talon will likely end up being the most important quarter that we play tonight. So hopefully they get those internet issues sorted out. I want to see the end of that one. As we check in on Cavs Legion and NBLA, as this Sixers Celtics game is over. Hit the GGs in the chat on that one. 3-point lead for Cleveland. Jaden over to the corner. DJ too cold for three, and he's cold as ice from the corner. He ties it.
Welcome to the stream, everyone. This is the Vibe Check, the official Nets Gaming Crew pre-show here on NetsGC Live. We're still a little bit of ways from opening tip between your NetsGC and Celtics crossover gaming. But before then, both myself and OG King Kurt, NetsGC's general manager and head coach, will keep you company. Kurt, how's it going today on this fine evening?
Hey man, just ready to close out the term group play. Getting ready for some R&R. We'll be out of market from June 30th to July 7th. Then we'll come back and retool for 2 to 3 days and get ready for remote bracket play.
I mean, this is the Vibe Check, so vibes are always good after a win, and when you can get 5 of them in a row, it's even better. Before we lock in on tonight's matchup against Boston, let's just take another closer look at last night's victory against Hornets Venom GT. And, we touched on this a little bit during the post show last night with you and JJ, but that opening quarter, right? A 27-12 first quarter from Charlotte, Hornets Venom GT just fighting for their tournament lives, and they shoot 7 of 7 from 3. You guys go the next 3 quarters and you hold them to, I have it here, they go 11 of 20 the rest of the way. So they shoot 4 of 13 in the final 3 quarters. Just, what was the difference there for the team and yourself?
Of course, I probably have to go back and watch the film a little bit closer, but the 7 for 7, a lot of those threes was out in transition where they were shooting wide open. Of course, we gave up some in the half court, but I'd probably beg to differ to say more than half of them were in transition where we were missing open. And then they were turning around, getting out on a break. We should have fouled on some of them, but we didn't, and we paid the price for it. And just like plays like that, Streets, he had got on Steves about that. He was like, they like to hit Plu, and Plu is one of the best shooting power forwards statistically in the league right now. He's getting them up and knocking them down. So it was just a situation where we had to lock in, make sure we were getting quality possessions on offense, and then also focusing on not giving up threes later in the game. And I think we did a phenomenal job in forcing them to shoot somewhere, like you said, what was it?
4 of 13 the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I think that, they cooled down a lot, but they definitely came out with a bang. And we was kind of punched in the mouth early, and it showed us what type of team that we needed to be in and what we're capable of being and coming back in sealing the win.
Another person that, just keeping it on this defensive narrative, another person that I really want to highlight, and we touched on him last night during the post show, is Sean, is Streets. You had talked about how when he's one of the few players who can get more mad, but it elevates his gameplay. He has taken a little bit of a back seat when it comes to the highlights that go trending on Instagram and on social, in terms of the points, and he's been kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit narratively due to the positional change from the vet stees and shots. But Streets, he does this thing where in high pressure moments, especially late in game, and we've seen this the last couple of matchups in the fourth quarter, he'll come up with a big steal. He'll come up with a big stop. Just talk about his impact defensively for you and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, it's always beautiful when you got players who just play to win the game. Like all they care about is winning and making winning plays, and they want everybody to make winning plays, whether it's on offense or defense. And that's what type of player Streets is. Like he can care less about numbers. He don't care about scoring. He's definitely showed that he is a capable scorer when needed. But his thing is just he wants everybody to make the right reads, take the right shots, and he's just gonna focus on getting the stops. And it was a lot of moments like that last year where he would say, don't worry about defense." He was like, "Trust, I'm gonna get us stops. We just got to be ready to score." And that's what we did. I mean, we find ourselves sometimes we string together 2 to 3 stops in a row. And my what I'm telling them is like I want us to be more efficient. If we're getting 2 to 3 extra possessions, I want us scoring on at least 75 to 80% of them, and if not all 100. And if they're not out in transition, but that's the beauty in having Streets. Like I said, he just wants to win. He's ultra competitive. He's smart. Like I said, he may not contribute a lot all the time on offense, but he definitely is aware of what everybody should be doing or what they should be looking for. And like when I sent you a picture last night of what they do after games, they do that all the time. Like Streets, Steves, and Greens, they'll go back and watch the game, win or lose. They'll go back and watch it and break down just certain plays that they clipped, and it's just been making everybody better. I mean, when he's locked in, he's making sure everybody else is locked in, and then everybody just follows suit. So it's a pleasure, like I said, being able to manage Streets, to know Streets, and just watching him grow as a player and a person each and every
day. It's funny because before we set up this recording, I told Kurt I just got to make a quick note here, and I put in my notes photos of them practicing, and I'm glad Kurt brought that up because it was literally just moments after the game, and they're so locked in on the next one and trying to get that next one and not being complacent. So you love to see it. You talk about it every day, Kurt. You've got a special group here. It's just all about kind of capitalizing on that potential. All right, let's lock in on tonight's matchup, which is just minutes away here on NetsGC Live, both on Twitch and YouTube. We've got Celtics Crossover Gaming. They opened up our tournament run here in the turn with that first game, NetsGC winning 68-64. The score is a little bit closer than it actually was in the closing minutes of that game against Boston. And so here, Celtics Crossover appears again. They are the lone team in the group that we're playing more than once to close out group play. So my question here, Kurt, is despite you guys being 5-0, in what ways has this team changed since the last time we met Boston to open up group play to now? And then on the other side of that question, what are you really happy about in regards to, okay, these guys have kept doing that thing?
I think once we made the lineup change and we saw that we can win with it, officially, it just was about getting reps and getting better on both sides of the ball, getting shots more reps, getting him more, in a mindset to be ready to go out and do it, something that he hasn't done in a while. And I think that was one of the things we focused on. And then also, Steves and Greens, as Green mentioned last night in the spaces, is that just the chemistry between him and Steves. Steves is more vocal, more, directive. He's going to be on Greens, telling them to be more aggressive and, what to look for. And then, if they're giving up the slip, then let's just keep eating on the slip and, we'll focus on getting stops. And those are things that we wasn't doing in the beginning. And now those have become habits that, we're starting to do. And I mean, of course, I think me and you talked about this, but the X factor for us, and right now, and I think it's going to be like that, is Glenn. I mean, he's always been known as a second ball handler that can defend. He also can make plays. But when he's knocking down his catch and shoots and he's making it and creating plays off the dribble, whether it's passing or shooting and knocking them down, it makes us a completely different team. I mean, him and Streets are menaces in the on the defensive end, and it's one of those things that we continue to build on that throughout the season, no matter what the situation was where we was having some success or their lack of. I think they just been committed to coming in and getting better each and every day, and they haven't looked back. As you can see, like right there, Streets is always making timely plays when we need one. And that's one of the things that about us is learning how to get leads, extend leads, and then keep them. And as you can see, like that's a big swing with Streets being able to get a steal, and then Glenn being aggressive and knocking down a nice off the dribble three-pointer right there. But I think that's just the beauty of this team and the growth that we had to endure. I mean, I'm not anyone for moral victories or anything like that, but I am somebody who believes in processes. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we've been experiencing. Green, like right there, like Steve's telling Greens to like be aggressive, and it's funny because when he gets to doing that and he's knocking down threes or he's hitting the slow fades and front fade, just doing what Greens does, Steve's he'll be yelling like, "Come on, Ty, like. And it gets Greens going. Like, Greens is somebody who, he doesn't like confrontation. He's not about negativity or anything like that. So everything has to be upbeat for him. And mm-hmm. That's why I like the group that he has, is because nobody is doing that. Like, everybody is doing and saying whatever it takes for him to be successful. And that's why you're seeing the type of Greens that you're seeing on a nightly basis now.
I just, I love the fact that this team is each individual, they're called, especially during this winning streak, Kurt, each individual, when it's their time to be called upon, they find a way to make plays. And if they're, making mistakes, they're finding ways to make up for that mistake and getting their teammates on the next one. So, and again, you've seen it throughout this winning streak. You saw it last night, and hopefully we see it tonight against Celtics Crossover Gaming. Last one before we let you guys go, or we let you go, Kurt, and we'll head over to a quick break before the tip-off. I just want to go and dive in a little bit more about our opponent tonight, Celtics Crossover Gaming. So they lost last night against Hawks Talon GC, which was a little bit of a shocker, kind of, but Hawks Talon has been competitive despite their record. But with that loss, it kind of puts them in a very tight race with Hornets Venom GT, and I guess Hawks Talon gave them some life as well. So tonight they have a tough doubleheader. Before they match up against us, they're going to be playing 76ers GC, and then again us tonight at 8 o'clock. Depending on how things play out, Kurt, their game against NetsGC could be a win and you're in type of scenario that you and the rest of the guys are very familiar with already. What do you expect out of Boston tonight, knowing their situation, and what are some of the keys for NetsGC to remain undefeated?
I mean, obviously, when you're facing a team with their back against the wall, I mean, basically they're playing with house money. I mean, because they have something to lose, but then also a whole lot to gain. And that's like you said, we're familiar with being in that situation. I think for them, I mean, of course, like when you look at some of these rosters in the East, it's definitely a ton of talent. And it's just about who's ready that night to go out and get one. And the Celtics definitely had that. They've been competitive over the last few seasons, in both modes from time to time. So I look for them to come out be aggressive. I thought even though I definitely last night and I was watching the game before I left. I left out and we was me, Streets, Steves, and Greens was walking home, and Streets said, "Oh man," he said, Hawks just beat the Celtics." And I was surprised because when we left, the Celtics was up, and so I was stunned. I mean, that they beat them by 10, nevertheless, but.
Mhm.
When they played Charlotte, they played phenomenal. Like, I mean, I thought FT, that was one of the better games that I've seen him play. 5v5, his stat line was incredible. I think he only missed one shot, and that was late in the game. He was perfect from three and from the field. So um, I'm gonna expect him to be gritty. Definitely, want to keep the ball out of this guy's hands and try to have some success. But that's a tough challenge. I know these guys, our guys are going to come in locked and ready. 5-0 is good, but 6-0 is better. Also, we want to keep control of the fourth place that we're in right now, but also can put us in a situation to move up going into bracket play. So that's we got something to be excited about as well. So I think it's not a game that any one of us is going to take lightly. I mean, because at this point, we all got something to prove, and we all plan for something, and that's what makes for good 2K League games. So I expect it to be a good one. Of course, I want to come out on top of it, but I think it's going to be a tough matchup. You can't take a nap on anybody in the East. Like, I just you don't like, because I think one of the biggest differences that we've seen between Western and Eastern Conference games is that Eastern teams, when they get down, they keep fighting. Like they're nobody's quitting, nobody's accepting defeat. Nobody's flopping or anything like that. They're still playing. You don't always see that in Western Conference games. So we're gonna expect a fight to the end. It's a lot of teams trying to fight and avoid that ticket, and we're trying to do the same. So we're in a good position, but we also know that we can be in a better one after tonight, and then going into remote bracket play.
Hey, one game at a time has been the mantra, and NetsGC has done it better than most, or better than all here. 5-0, and I love the fact that you said, you pointed out the Eastern Conference. It is a war. It is a battle every single night. And again, even with Brooklyn being 5-0, each and every single one of these victories, I'm sure even more stressful for you and the guys in the gaming studio, but just watching it, each and every one of them have been hard-earned victories. But that wraps up our vibe check here on NetsGC Live. You just want to get to the dance, and that's what the NetsGC is doing. That's what Celtics Crossover Gaming is trying to do tonight. Boston has shown that they're pretty competitive in person with wins in the Quarter Cup and defeating Charlotte in person as well. But we're going to go back to the main broadcast now. 8 p.m. scheduled tip-off, give or take a few minutes, depending on how some of these games end with the 7 o'clock slate, 7:30 slate. Kurt, thank you so much for joining us here on the pre-show. We'll lock in again after the match. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you later.
Appreciate you, Chris.
Hey, what's up, chat? Welcome back to the clubhouse where me, you, and the rest of the crew can catch almost every single possession of every NetsGC game. That's my fault. That game snuck up on me. It looked like we weren't going to be on air, and then I was kind of watching the command center there for a little bit, and then should have maybe reset it, but I mean, it clearly hasn't affected the guys' vibes here and their momentum. They're off to an amazing start, 11-2 to open up this game. So we're picking up where we left off last night. Thank you for tuning in to NetsGC Live as always. Appreciate you guys on Twitch or YouTube. This is the home stretch of the group play of the turn. Just looking through the chat. We opened up early today for that pre-show, so thanks to Kurt and thanks to you guys for tuning in. He was able to give us a little bit more insight to last night's victory over Hornets Venom GT, and then teed up tonight's game against Celtics Crossover Gaming. Fail, Trill, Mama Steez, Mama Greens, Jen, Mama Streets, what's up? Hi everyone, it's good to see you guys again, back-to-back nights. 13-4 for NetsGC. After tonight's game, for those who aren't aware, the league is on a bye week. So we're going on a little mini break this time. We won't see the guys live in action. We won't be on stream for I want to say 10 days. And it's weird, chat. Let me know how you feel, because bye weeks are amazing. You know, you want that work-life balance, and Kurt is one of the best, if not the best in the league, with trying to make sure his team, is not drained physically and mentally. But I don't know, it's tough to see the guys take a little bit of a break when they're on such a roll like this, right? I don't know if you guys agree with me. I'm all for a little break, a mini break, but for us to be off for 10 days, give or take a day, is tricky. But that might be the bias, selfish person in me talking, where I want to really ride this momentum for all it's worth. Bye weeks are needed. They are needed. I'm with you guys on there. Just maybe a little too long, and the excitement is such at an all-time high, but I know the guys are going to love it. Some of them are going back home, get to see family. And again, this is the selfish person in me talking, but no, the guys are pumped to be going home. And bye weeks, they hit different when you're 6-0. So yeah, you're right, Mama Greens. If he's coming back after that bye week, and then he can build on it with another bye week, then Greens, you might as well wrap up that Rookie of the Year trophy and just mail it over to Brooklyn. (18-7). 8 of 11 from the field, 3 turnovers, but it's been kind of a hectic, abnormal pace to this game. So can't really fault them, especially when the team is up 11. Shots with 3 steals, that's big. Glenn 7 points. Want to bring up let me just bring up our numbers here. Nets, let's go turn stats. Okay, so since moving to power forward, right, we talked about this last night during the post game with Kurt. We know Shots is shooting, such a naturally gifted shooter. That was always going to translate, but it was the defensive reps, guarding the pick and roll and being able to play those lanes on the slips and baiting those passes. So Shots in that first game, he had 0 steals, chat. Since then, 2 steals, 1 steal, 1 steal, 3 steals last night, and 3 after 1 quarter. So to say the big man, the vet, is building and constantly improving would be an understatement. He's going nuts there in the passing lanes. Fail. Thank you, Lady Streets. We look good. Let's close this out. I'll be back. If not, I'll be on Twitter with the crew celebrating. We got this. Let's lock in. Appreciate you as always, Fail. Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if the team would let him. I don't know if the team's going to be advocating for that. They tease Greens a lot for his defense, but to Green's credit, he's been going crazy on the defensive end, at least from a raw steals number point of view. $18-7. It looks like we're on the main broadcast. Out of bounds. We'll keep it locked here. There's just so many games going on. I just don't want to go back and forth. And just like that, they win a double box. So I'm glad we stayed here. But yeah, hope you guys are doing good tonight on this Thursday night, leading into the long weekend. Go get that, Glenn. Is Boston checked right now? Like, chat. So normally I have the standings like fully up to date, so we can pour over them during halftime. But some of these games today have been crazy. Like Celtics crossover just got out of their game with Philly. Does anybody know who won that game? And did Hawks Talon and who did Hawks Talon play? They went like double. They played Hornets Venom GT. That game started off like they were one of the first games of the night, and they were still playing just before we went on stream. Like they went a double overtime, had a bunch of resets. So I have no clue how the rest of the standings look right now. It's a good pass. Street's going to want that one back. Philly won. Okay. Let's see. Hornets Venom haven't tweeted yet about winning. Hawks Talon hasn't tweeted about a win yet, so they might still be going. '76ers GC. 76ers GC won. So that would put Yeah, Philly did win, Chris. Appreciate you. So Philly won. That puts them at 4-2, 4-2, so they're done in group play. That's a great steal by Glenn. Oh, it's showtime, NetsGC now, guys. So Philly beat Boston. That puts Boston at 1-4. ATL and Charlotte are still playing, maybe. If anyone in the chat knows who won between Hornets and Hawks, let me know. Oof. Greens tees it up. 27-10. Chat, this is getting out of hand fast, but if we learned anything from last night, it's never over till it's over. I didn't touch anything, chat. I don't know what happened. Okay. It looks good so far. Looks good so far. It doesn't feel like I think we've been traumatized by all the close games we've seen this year. That seeing something like this, at least when I speak for myself, has me feeling a little weirded out. Right, like I'm not on edge. Just hanging out. Just chilling. They went to double box again on the main broadcast, so we're going to keep it here. Oh, the defense is moving. They are swinging. Oh boy, chat. Oh boy. Oh no. T Springs, if you're still in the chat, I don't know what to tell you. I think there's a flood in Boston right now. Yeah, they did, Mama Greens. They literally played just before this one. They were playing Philly by the time we loaded up the pre-show. That is... Leche's controller disconnected. He might be done with this. Lady OG, that's one of the... That's like an all-time comment in the chat, NetsGC Live. Lady OG just basically saying we should just skip to the post-game. Imagine we had a post-game while the game was still happening. Oh, man. I'm so glad, like, one of the big reasons why, or at least one of the reasons I was looking forward to having NetsGC Live was being able to, it's basically like therapy, like group therapy, where I could share the emotional roller coaster that is NetsGC and the NBA 2K League with other people who are invested in the same outcomes that I'm invested in. So, trust me, Mama Greens. We're right there with you. Whoever brought up the box score, I appreciate you. I know this is Boston's feed. Greens, perfect from the field. You love to see it. I love that one turnover from Greens as well, keeping that number down. Again, Glenn, double digit in the tip-off. The two games that we did win during group play, Glenn was efficient from the field, was scoring in double digits. All 6 games here in the turn, Glenn has hit at least 10 points or more. Actually, I'm not giving him enough credit. Glenn has hit at least... No, he hit 10 in game 1, so that was the exact amount of credit. Yeah, 11 points, 3 assists, 0 turnovers. You love to see that from your secondary ball handler. Again, Street's the unsung hero. A lot of what he does doesn't really always show up on the stat sheet in the box score, but you know he's just as important as the next guy, arguably the most important defensively. Shots, 5 steals. That's everything to me. So that is a new turn high for him. Season high even. He had 3 steals last night. That was his best, and now he gets 5 at halftime. Chat. He's on pace for 10. And then, of course, Steez flirting with the double-double at halftime. 39-13. For those who watched games with us, not with us, but, followed NetsGC last year, is reminiscent of the T-Wolves. I'm going to ask Kurt about this after the show as well. Reminiscent of the T-Wolves game during seed weeks in 5v5, where obviously we were on the other side of this flood. Yeah, Chris, the bye week is next week. It's a bit of a unique spot to put a bye week in, because you would think it would come like after the turn, and then and then you'd go turn, bye week, ticket, right? But no, it's gonna be group play of turn wraps up this week. Then they go bye week. Then they do turn bracket play week 1, turn bracket play week 2. Then they go right into the ticket. So, and if fingers crossed we're able to avoid the ticket with a good showing here in the turns bracket play, then essentially that ticket week becomes another bye week for us. All right, let's try and find out what happened to that Hawks Talon game. They're in triple overtime, chat. Okay, so, I mean, the good news is it doesn't really matter what happens in our group anymore because we're 5-0. We've already clinched the #1 spot. So the more important discussion to be having, guys, is who are some of the teams that we may be facing in the first round of bracket play. So with the turn, unlike the tip-off, we'll be crossing over conferences. So we're going to be playing the group. We're going to be playing a Western Conference team for sure. I don't know which group they are title-wise, so like A or B or C or D, but I do know it's the group with Pistons GT, T-Wolves Gaming, Grizz Gaming, Jazz Gaming, Dukes Infinitos, and Mavs Gaming. So what will happen is because we're locked into the first seed, in the first round we'll play the 4th seed of that group. So as of right now, none of these teams in this group play tonight, so we can lock this in. Right now, Detroit is in first, Minnesota's in second right behind them. Memphis is in third, and right now there's a tie between Jazz Gaming and Dukes Infinitos for 4th. Now, technically, Dallas is not out of it yet, but they're at the bottom. So if you want to play numbers, if you want to play odds, it'll be either Jazz Gaming or Dukes Infinitos will be our opponent, or there's an off chance if Grizz Gaming continue to fall and some tiebreakers go against them, it could be Grizz Gaming. So one of those 3 teams, Dukes, Utah, Memphis. Oh, man. Oh, Sean. Okay. Yeah, Pistons have bounced back. I mean, 3v3 champs, and then Perfect still here in the turn. They've had a really good season. But, I mean, like, that's going to be a fun matchup. Like, either of those 3 teams. Dukes, Utah, Grizz Gaming. Obviously, Dukes putting the finishing touches on our 3v3 championship hopes, so it'd be nice to get some revenge on them. Jazz Gaming with Rhea. Kaze, Rec Combos, another talented rookie at point guard. And then Grizz Gaming, right, with CP, talking about yet another talented rookie at guard. Dimes at center. They need some milk. Rico keeps giving them. It's getting crazy out here. I'm gonna wait till the fourth quarter to post that gif. Chat, so how are we doing tonight? What are some of our long weekend plans? That's the point of the broadcast that we're at right now. I mean, you love to see it. This is I wish every broadcast was like this. I wish JJ was here for this. No, I agree with you, Mama Steez. We should lock in. However, I am very happy for the guys here. This is we haven't had a game like this all year, so where the guys can kind of just like play loose, have fun, not really over worry. Sure, Kurt's loving it as well. It's a good dot. Nope, the game is not over yet. I am curious though, like, I guess it's really dependent on the person, but does it help to play just before? Well, that's a half-court shot, Chad. Of course. Ooh. Streets elevates for two. But does it help? Does it help to play before, like, just before, or does playing back-to-back like that, like literally one right after the other, is that maybe too much? Because Boston was in a competitive game against 76ers GC, the number 2 team in our group. like minutes before we played them. I think for me personally, you'd think it might help because you feel warmed up. But I guess maybe only if you win that first game. Yeah, exactly, Trill. Yeah, that's a good point to consider. I guess it really just depends on the person. $51-25. 6 steals and counting for the 6-year vet shots. Good rotation. Better shot there for Boston. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Now that both you and Trill say that, and I can just reading that, I think I'm on board with that answer. I only asked that because in the Twitter spaces, the 2K League Speakeasy that the coach of T-Wolves Gaming and Jazz Gaming, if you guys aren't familiar, they host it after each game. There was a topic that came up where should teams be playing back-to-back like that? All right, Boston finding a little bit of a rhythm here in the last few possessions. Oh. I wanna get Street some looks here. Close out the game. Is that 8? Or no, that's 7. That's 7, right, chat? That's 7 steals. What's the record? Steez. That's right. Okay, chat. We're still locked in, but let's just do story time here. Steez has the NBA 2K League record, I believe, for steals. With 9. Honestly, give credit to Greens here. As hectic and chaotic as this pace has been, it's a little bit more free-flowing. A lot of times when you're in these type of games, the turnovers might start to kind of add up, but he's kept his down. But obviously the biggest takeaways here, Steez already with a double-double, Glenn with 21 points, 3 steals, no turnovers, Streets with 3 steals. Okay. So the steal record is 10, and it's not held by Steez.
All right, here we go. Let's see how the guys close it out here. 60-32. God. Oh, no. Who got that? That was Shots. That's 8. Okay, Shots needs 2 more to set the steals, to tie the steals record. Needs 3 more to break it. Fade. Oh. What's up, OG King Kurt, bro? Hawks are still playing. What? Chat, they like. I believe they started at 7 o'clock. Yeah, looks like they've just started the third overtime. 83-83 Hawks Talon, Hornets Venom GT. Sean tees it up. Knocks it down. 63-38. I want Shots to play reckless here in these lanes. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. Block does. Block's just as good. Oh, chat. Throwing alley-oops. Okay, did somebody clip that? We're throwing alley-oops, guys. So we're locked in to the #1 seed. We're locked into the #1 seed no matter what here. I think this it really kind of depends what happens to Charlotte and Atlanta. But, I mean, a loss here for Boston would essentially knock them out. So that makes this overtime game between Charlotte and Atlanta just so important. think this might be it, though. I think this Atlanta-Charlotte game is about to end. Shots with 8 steals. That's crazy. All right, chat, here we go. Closing minute. You love to see it. A picture-perfect performance from NetsGC tonight. This is like rec league game. Oh, that's 9. He just tied Steez for second most steals in a game. The record is 10. Oh, Shots is gambling in lanes now. He wants that. Yeah, look at Shots go. Throw it up. Here we go. Shots. Where's Shots? Oh. Get to the corner. That's crazy. They're throwing it away from him. Shots is spamming that steal button for 10. Nine steals from the vet. 76-54. NetsGC advanced to 6-0. That is probably the most dominant way to close out group play here in the turn. I like that stream. Like, I think more streams on NetsGC Live should go that way, where it's just chill, never in doubt. And Brooklyn goes perfect for the first time ever in group play. The previously the best record that we've had in group play was 4-1 in the tip-off last year. And this also marks our best showing in the turn in our leagues, in our franchise's history since coming into the league back in season 2. You love to see it. Or sorry, 2020. No, 2019 is season 2. Congrats, everyone. And, yeah, appreciate you, Chris. Hornets win, so they advance to 2-3. The wild part is if Hornets Venom GT lose their next game against Knicks Gaming, they'll drop down to 2-4. And do the Celtics play again tonight? No, they're done, right? Yeah, the Celtics are done. Never mind. What am I talking about? Yeah, the Celtics are out no matter what. They're 1-5 now. All right, that solves the group. So we're in first, 6-0. Charlotte gets the 4th seed, and we just wait till tomorrow and find out who we play in that Western Conference group. So again, it's gonna look like Duke's, Jazz Gaming, or Grizz Gaming. I'm gonna see what Kurt is up to. All right. Just reached out to Kurt, see what he's up to. He might be a little bit.
Man, he's burning through the fouls today.
Really is. Oh, that one's gonna go out
Bear
of
with
bounds.
us, chat.
Magic Gaming gonna
It might
get
be a little bit
back.
before Kurt
Unfortunate.
gets on stream with us again. The guys are going on a bye week. So it's going to be the
Oh my
last
goodness.
time
Now, well, there it is.
he sees them for a while.
76-54. Give me 1 second, Derek. So with Hornets Venom GT winning and Celtics crossover losing both games, Hornets Venom GT are officially through, and we have our 4 teams in that group. It will be NetsGC, 76ers GC, Knicks Gaming, and Hornets Venom GT. Wow. Wow. Wow.
We still got to
wow.
see them against the Knicks.
We do indeed. I do believe that game becomes important for seeding. Knicks Gaming currently 3-2. Hornets Venom are about to be 2-3. I believe the winner will get the tiebreaker as well because it's head-to-head.
A lot of close games this
these two teams have played yet. Let me double check that.
They haven't. I
these
just
last
checked
couple
it.
days as teams
They have
jockey
not
for
either.
position. I just confirmed
yes,
with
that game
11
will
days,
basically
at
be
least
for
11
the
days
number
until we
3
play
seed in
next.
the group.
We got to give some props too for NetsGC. Like there was a lot of worries
Oh,
after
there we
that
go.
tip-off performance, and
talking
then they come out with the complete 180 and go 6-0 in group play.
Booch. Over to Gazuli. That mid-range. That won't go.
It does look.
Orlando.
It's
On
everything.
the run here.
At 6-0 on
Minute
paper, it
17 left
is.
to go here in the third quarter.
It is everything. Obviously,
Win, and
you know,
you're
we'd
in
love to
territory
kind of
for both of these teams as
carry that
symptoms
momentum
takes
all the
themselves.
way to a turn championship. There's nothing more
And
I
that's
want to see in
literally
the world than
definition of what the turn is
to see
about.
Kurt,
That is true.
you know, win his first banner and these guys to win a championship together. For Greens to do it in his first year as well. But
Gives it to Mooch.
it is
Over the
difficult to go
putback
6-0
and
to go
hits it.
perfect in group play.
Nice shot there from Putty. Leads at 4. Matty with it now. Gives it to Unguardable. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Symptoms. Over to Matty again. It'll rattle home the 2. He's had a couple of mid-range shots tonight.
I like his aggressiveness. Oh, anytime Mandy gets it, he's always trying to either like try to find a 3. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Oh my goodness. The 3-point game again. 17 seconds left here in the third. Guardable always going to get plucked away. Green light starts a party. That's a bad time for it. Mooch has a party of its own, and we're tied at 46. Well done by Toronto to come back, setting up an epic fourth quarter.
Mic
Timeout
check.
Orlando. For Mooch, most coming in this third
All right,
quarter.
chat. We're just getting Kurt situated in the lobby here. But we're just a few moments away from
Gala,
kicking
say
off
you're
the
live.
post show here on NetsGC Live.
Hey, you know what? We're having a fun night. Somebody's gotta keep the line moving.
All right. Give me a
It's just
second
unbelievable
here.
the amount of scenarios that we are still going through here. Whether it's Magic, Raptors.
Gonna turn down the 2K League broadcast. Pull Kurt in. Bring us over. Kurt, how are we doing? Can you hear me okay? Oh, I can't hear you. That might have been me. Let me
You got mics muted up in there, man.
I apologize. I want to keep you on your toes after that stressful game against Celtics crossover gaming. The guys are 6-0. Congrats on a literally perfect group play run here in the turn. Just talk to us about, you know, what the atmosphere was like in the NetsGC gaming studio tonight. Obviously, after a series of close games, to be able to conclude the week with a more loose game must have been nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think after the games that we've had, prior, you definitely don't mind getting a game under your belt where you can go out and take care of business early. I was going to start it off by saying one of the phrases that NBLI said, we're not surprised, you are. Like, I mean, this is what we expect to play like. I mean, of course, I've said it, and I put it on my story yesterday. Results take time, and we knew that once we got together and got on the same page, that we was gonna be just fine, and nobody in here hit the panic button or anything like that. And I was just talking to Glenn because everybody else is out of here, but they were saying the teams that are in front of us, like there's nobody in front of us that's dominated us. So like there's no reason for us to feel any other way than what we feel, and we confident in what we can do, and we just have to go out and continue to keep showing it.
Now, Kurt, I don't know if you can see in the chat there, the chat just teasing you a little bit, saying Mama Green's Kurt low-key feeling good and wants a smile from ear to ear. Lady OG, he'd be like, I'm excited, but then end up looking like this. Chris, look at him smiling.
I'm trying to think because I know I see my daughter in the chat. Jay Curtis, that's my daughter. I see my brother in the chat. And people that's been around me, like when I coach traditionally, I don't know. Like inside, yeah. And AB used to say this about me, and JP, like I don't know. Like I'm excited, but job's not done. I mean, for one, but it's about my guys. That's why. Like it's about them. It's never about me. Like so, if you want to see me happy and see me smiling ear to ear, like look how I am when I'm around the guys and helping them celebrate their joy and things like that. So that's all that matters to me is to see them accomplish what they want, and it's definitely a good feeling to see them go out and dominate tonight like they did.
What's up, Healy? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we hold these post shows after every single NetsGC game. Give or take a few exceptions, like when the guys are playing at OS Studios, and it's a little bit trickier to set up. But no, if you want your NetsGC fix, this is the place to be, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. You talk about what it's like to be around, the guys, your guys. Let's talk about one of your guys, one who's been there the longest with this iteration of this team, Shots. We talked about in the pre-show, right? Like him getting more reps on the defensive end and how each and every single game he shows visible improvement in the PNR defensively. Tonight, he finishes with 9 steals. An unreal game defensively, matches Steez's output of 9. He's just one short of the 2K League record. We saw him spamming that steal button at the end there to try and get the 10th one. But just talk about what you've seen from him, not just tonight, but over the course of this turn.
No, I'm proud of him. I mean, like I mentioned about Shots before, is that he's hard on himself. He expects a lot out of himself, no matter what position he's playing. Anybody who knows Shots' career and what type of player he's been an all-star. He's been an all-league. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's definitely going to demand a lot from himself. And like I said, the teammates that he have around him, they're going to push him. They're going to celebrate with him, but they're going to keep him honest. And I think he appreciates that. He finally has a group of guys around him that understand him. Shots has probably been one of the most misunderstood players in the league. I think the other night in the speakeasy, I remember Big Face talking about, coaches and GMs taking time to cultivate players. Mm-hmm. And that's simply what I've done with Shots. He was somebody who came to Brooklyn with a bad rap. And me personally, I took time to get to know him and understand him and learn what makes him tick. And doing that, now he has the right group of guys around him that truly understand him, and there's no problem at all. So He's deserving of a night like tonight. Definitely something that I know he's going to take and build on. I'm happy for him. He gets to go back home, see his mom and dad. I know he haven't seen them in a while, so I'm happy about that. But me and Shot's relationships. Shannon Abraham, that used to work in growth properties for BSC. That it's a bromance. Like he's like he's like my best friend. Because he's been here with me the longest, and it's deeper than 2K. So glad that he's still pushing himself after 6 years, and still making plays. And I think this is only going to help make him even hungrier as we get ready to go into bracket play once the league bye week is over.
You mentioned the bye week. One of the things we were discussing during the stream, was this bye week. It's going to be 11 days between now and the beginning of remote play here in the turn. And I kind of know what your answer is going to be, but I'm going to tee it up anyways. This bye week, is it, considering the momentum that the team has built, now being 6-0, do you kind of want to see them keep playing and not have to go through a bye? That way we don't lose it? Or is it kind of a thing where it's no, these guys should go see their family, and they'll be locked in for when they return regardless?
Yeah, anybody who knows me, I've been a strong advocate for mental health and getting rest and recharging and falling back in love with the game over and over and over. You got to realize these guys play 2K 365 days a year. They don't really take a ton of breaks. So it's something that they're used to. I think Glenn, he had tweeted, I think last week, don't let wins and losses affect your mental health. And, we don't do that over here. And in saying that, it's the thing I like about their mentality, if we didn't have a bye week and we had to go in and play next week, they're ready to play. But now that we have a bye week, they're ready to go have some fun like that, and unwind. And like I said, fall back in love with the game again when we come back. We'll go on break from the 30th to the 7th. We'll start back practicing on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. We'll figure out what day we play between 11th and 14th. If we get lucky and we don't play until the middle of the week, we'll just have more days to grind and get back in the thick of things. But no, I want my guys understand that they're professionals, but then I also love them as people. And Streets has a daughter and a family back home. I don't personally like for him being away from his kids and stuff like that.
Of course.
I don't always like being away from my kids and either, but. So I definitely want them to be able to take time, have some fun, come back. I got a mature group over here. They know what the goal is, and I don't think they're going to shy away from it just because we have some time off. I think we had a ton of time off before we went on this streak, so I don't think they're going to approach it any different. And that's one of the keys that I've been talking about, even in the spaces, is it's all about approach. If you can get players to take the right approach about everything each and every day, you're going to be you're going to find yourself in the thick of things of what you're trying to accomplish. And that's what we've been doing all year long. I mean, hats off to these guys, man. We have really put together a season, from threes all the way to 5v5. I mean, these guys don't complain. They don't whine about anything. We literally just take things head on. And I want to say, they all have my temperament. It's whatever is whatever. We're going to come in here and knock it out and, play our asses off and compete and look to win each and every game. So, I'm over the hill happy for them and definitely want them to have some fun. And I'll stay in touch with them over the break and, see them back on the 8th. And like I said, we'll get ready to rock and roll.
I can't wait. I'm so excited to see what unfolds next here for NetsGC. I think I saw someone in the chat ask, what we were discussing in the beginning of the stream, if you're referring to the pre-show, we were just diving into, what happened against Hornets and MGT last night, who, emerged victorious, a crazy triple overtime victory tonight. And then, of course, we broke down the Celtics crossover game. We want to do more of those pre-shows moving forward, just to, give you more and more insight and pull the curtain back here a little bit more over at NetsGC. Last question for me before we wrap things up here and jump into the long weekend. In the turn, unlike the tip-off, Kurt, we don't play the Eastern Conference. We'll do cross-conference play. We'll play the West. So this is our first chance at seeing Western Conference teams in 5v5 this year. We know we're playing the group that involves Pistons GT, T-Wolves Gaming, Grizz Gaming, Jazz Gaming, Dukes Infinitos, and Mavs Gaming, a very interesting group. As it stands right now, odds are we'll be playing one of Dukes or Jazz Gaming, with an off chance that we could also play Grizz Gaming. Just talk a little bit about that Western Conference group, the Western Conference in general, and, what it's going to be like to finally play a Western Conference team. Because as it's discussed on some of these Twitter spaces you referred to earlier, different kind of play styles over there, different kind of teams and personalities. It should be fun.
No, definitely. I mean, as a competitor, whoever we get lined up with, we just have to get ready to move them out our way. But when you talk about contrast to styles, of course, you have more 5-out teams in the West. You still have some traditional, PNR teams over there. But I'm looking forward to it. I think, we was talking about that today, about what type of team we are. And I think Glenn put it best, we're medium to fast pace. Our fast pace is a little different. Like, it's predicated off our defense. So I think I look at it, the one thing about it beyond playing the Western Conference, put us in a serious scenario, and I think we'll tough out. Like, we'll tough out in the best of 3, best of 5. Like, I think it's going to be difficult beating us, twice in one night. And I'm going to hang my hat on that. Like, I think we're going to be it's going to be pretty tough to take us out 2 times in one night. So I think no matter who we play, we'll be ready. Definitely, the servers and things and that have to get back accustomed and used to that. But we may, no complaints over here. No crying, no whining. We'll just be ready to attack whoever we get, and I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's time to put a lot of this East and West to rest, and
yes,
and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, this couldn't have come at a better time. And I think back to a tweet Shots had put out a little bit earlier in the season where he hadn't played a series in 5v5 in so long. And actually, we're almost approaching like 2 full calendar years since Shots has participated in a series. So I'm chomping at the bit here. I'm so excited to see the guys play in a best of 3 because, like you said, it will be tough, hella tough to beat Brooklyn twice on one night. But actually, last words. Kurt, anything for the chat? I know we're going here on a little mini break. It's going to be a while till we're on stream again to get to see you guys play. Some final thoughts, words, anything you've got before we go off the air.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, my daughter was in the chat. That's Jay Curtis. Of course, Lady LG was in the chat. Jen, Mama Greens, Trill. I think I seen L in here. T Springs was in here. I seen a first timer in here earlier. But I'm just want to give a big shout out to everybody that's tuning in consistently on a nightly basis. And I've been saying on Twitter about this becoming, a family space for NetsGC. And that's mainly because of you all. Like, I mean, I'm glad that we're giving you something to really be proud of and to cheer for. We'll continue to keep, to keep working, but it starts here. I mean, none of your support goes unnoticed. I don't know how you say it, but no Mike Payton or something. I think, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen some new people in here, but no, it's just glad that, you have something to cheer for. We're going to continue to keep working, and nobody's satisfied. If you would have been here in the room, you never even would have knew we was up 26 at halftime. Like, I mean, it's just one of those things where these guys, man, they want it bad, and they definitely showing it. So I'm proud of them. You should be too, and I look forward to seeing everybody when we come back off the break. I know I'm gonna have a good time. I know the players are gonna have a good time. So definitely some time well spent, and we'll get back to it off the break. The first thing Street said is when it was over, he was like, "Well, time to go pack," and that's gonna be me later on tonight too. My flight leaves out at 6:48, and we wheels up at 6:45 in the morning. So, Lady LG, get some sleep so you can be ready to go pick me up from the airport.
Oh, that's all. It brings me back to one of the very first times I, met the guys last season, and I remember on my last night there, Streets had his luggage at the Barclays ready to go. He's always like on it. So I'm so excited, Jen, for you to see him again, especially again. Bye weeks always hit different when you're 6-0. So again, the vibes are just pristine here in Brooklyn. But that does it here for us. Chat, thank you so much for tuning in on a second consecutive night. I know the games can kind of come at us fast, but it's all part of the process. We'll see you guys again 11 days from now at the latest, I believe. Obviously, once the bracket is fully released by the league, or we're able to crunch some numbers on our side, we'll let you guys know dates and times. That way you can mark it down on your calendar. But follow Nets Gaming Crew on all social platforms. We've got some exclusive content cooking up on the YouTube and TikTok side of things. So check that out if you haven't already. And I saw someone say in the chat, if you guys can manage it, or if you're in the area, definitely check out District E, DC, to see the guys play in person. Obviously, that's preferred, but even just to watch the 2K League in general, seeing all these in-person games that have happened over this past weekend, Kurt, like, that is the 2K League, like, at its core. So I hope you guys are able to experience that for yourselves this season. And remember, chat, we did say we're going to try our best to have NetsGC live, but for real, in person together as a crew, watching these guys play for a 5v5 championship. So, on behalf of Kurt, myself, and everyone over at NetsGC, be safe, enjoy your time with your friends and your loved ones. Kurt, have a safe flight as well. Give the team my regards, and we'll see you guys again next time. Have a good night.